So, folks, employment equity is not a very difficult concept to understand. So, like, imagine you were selling these remotes. Imagine you had a company where you manufactured these and you sold them, and you are starting to want to scale now. You want to go beyond having 50 employees. The government is telling you now you have to forget everything you know about your business. You have to change the structure of your business completely and hire new people that are mandated by government. So meaning that through the new equity parameters that are going to be set, you have to change the whole trajectory of your business. You have to have so many number of black people. You have to have so many number of white people, Indians, coloreds, and different people. But what has been concerning to so many people is that, this Employment Equity Act is discriminatory against the white people, the coloreds, the Indians, and the Chinese, South Africans in this country. It's a situation because this Employment Equity Act, ladies and gentlemen, tells South Africans exactly how many people they should hire in their business, what type of people they should hire, and it makes it very difficult for business owners to be able to fire employees who are not performing as they should in a business. So it is setting all these parameters. They don't care about your business. They don't care about whether or not you are hitting the targets that you have set for yourself. The government is going to set targets for you in terms of how the structure of your company should look. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Would you want to build a company and try to scale it in an environment like this?
Has reserved judgment in the DA's challenge of the Employment Equity Amendment Act. In its heads of argument, the DA claims that Section 15A, as amended, violates the rights of coloureds, Indians and white people. In another key argument, the party says the draft legislation was tagged incorrectly, making it invalid. But the Deputy Director General in the Department of Employment and Labour, Thembinkosi Mkhaliphi, is convinced that the DA is selective in its reading of the Employment Equity Amendment Act. Michael Bagram, who speaks...
Whoever said that is silly. That was silly.
...for the DA on employment and labour matters, says the department has created a mess.
The reality is that it's got worse and worse, and now to set it in stone, because it doesn't matter what the employer says. If the employer says, I'm going to set a target for myself for year 1, year 2, but at year 5, they have to hit the minister's target. It's cast in stone. That's the way it's written, and that's why 15A is actually unconstitutional.
Exactly, bro. Forget about skin color for a moment. Can we get serious about issues in South Africa? Forget about skin color. Look at the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is that the government is setting it in stone to tell business owners what to do, who they can hire, who they can't hire, and also unions are empowered to keep these people in the workforce. If you try to fire them, you are seen as a racist business. You do not care about black people. They paint you like that. That is the whole blueprint. That is how they do it. It's like, that is the fact of the matter. Skin color doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter in this, bro. Employment equity is horrible. If you are a business owner, you just know employment equity is horrible.
The whole idea of the legislation is to call for redress. The Democratic Alliance wants very carefully to call for redress, but real redress, not redress that doesn't happen. Doesn't want to call for redress that goes worse every year. And Mr. Mkhaliphi can say what he wants, but the bottom line is those targets are set. And once a target's been set, the minister's not saying, don't worry, if you've got some good reason as to why you can't find people, we'll change the target. That's not the way it's worded. She's going to have to go back to the drawing board and reword it if that's the way they're trying to argue it. But even his own lawyers in the courtroom did not argue that. They're saying themselves that it might be unconstitutional. And we're going to obviously hear from the court now. It's no good us arguing the law itself, but we've got a real problem. We've also put in another plea in this particular case, that it's not been properly pleaded through the courts, through the Parliament itself, it's not been tagged properly. So that's another constitutional point that we're making, in the sense that it's supposed to go through Section 76 and not 75, and it's a mess. The whole thing's a complete mess.
It's very disappointing. Mr. Bahrain is a lawyer. She should understand what the law says. First, let's start with the law.
Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. He's trying to defend affirmative employment equity. Affirmative action, employment equity, BEE, all of them. It's the same. It's the same mess.
The law says any employer that is implementing this legislation must use regional and national demographics. That's the issue. That's what the law says as we speak.
Exactly. It's telling business owners what to do. It's telling business... Bro, I promise you, this guy in the middle, I promise you, this guy has never had a business in his life. I'm not a business owner myself. I'm thinking of getting into it. I'm just learning. I'm trying to see. I have very good friends in business. Amazing guys. But it's like, bro, it's tough for them. It's tough for them too. Because now they can't scale. They cannot actually employ people who they think are best to help their companies grow and provide services and value to the people of South Africa. Because initially, that's what a business is. You start a business to provide value. People come to your business and they buy. You don't start a business to oppress people. You don't start a business because you are racist or you want to seek power. No, that's not what you do. Unless you are a big corporate like your Pfizer and your Johnson & Johnson. You know what they did. We don't want to mention what they did in 2020 because some flagging will happen. But it's like, it's crazy. Crazy times that we live in, man. This guy's never had a business. He's going to come here and tell us that, no, the government actually is the law. Laws can be changed. That's a ridiculous law. Remove that thing, bro.
The regulations that have been published says a company must make a selection. When they decide, the minister set the 5-year target and said, in 5 years, we should be here at point A. The company then must decide how it would reach that point A. Company A would say, well...
Bro, that is ridiculous. That guy, yeah, that's why they cut him off. He's just being ridiculous, bro. But let's listen to the Iron Lady of South Africa, Ma'am Helen, what she has to say about all of this employment equity.
Zilla also says the draft Employment Equity Act announced by government will not assist in bridging the economic divide.
Employment Equity Act is racial engineering at its very worst. It starts applying quotas to every population group. I don't know how they're going to define who is in which population group and if they're going to reintroduce the old apartheid pencil test or what. But it is quite the most outrageous attempt to divide people on the basis of race and to exclude people, especially colored and Indian people, from jobs based on their proportion in the population. This
is true. This is fact. And it's like it's apartheid all over again. It's like it's apartheid all over again. The reason why that is because during apartheid, the government segregated the blacks and the whites and the Indians and the coloreds. And they gave opportunities to a particular certain group of race, which were the white people. Now, if now after 30 years of democracy, you are still perpetuating racial legislation that gives opportunities and segregates people based on skin color, it's like, how are you any different to the apartheid government that you hate so much? How are you any different? So you hate the apartheid government, but you're going to do exactly what they did. It's like they're saying it's redress. It's not wrong because it is done in the democratic era to redress what happened during apartheid. Well, reverse racism is racism. You can try to mask it and clothe it in whatever, but it's like reverse racism is racism, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Complete racial social engineering, and we reject it entirely.
Residents say they are a forgotten people, but will head to the polls to vote and bring change in the by-election and 2024 elections.
Colored people are forgotten people, and we face many challenges regarding our area, the gangsterism, the the drug problem that the children face and stuff like that. And then in the flats, they are so run down. We've had to maintain them ourselves personally, even though it's still the council's property.
The DA now came in. Now we got the bushes cut all over on this whole area now. And we hope for the change to do something better for the Newland East.
This guy campaigning. But it's tough for the coloureds. It's tough for the coloureds because they also feel the consequences of employment equity, and majority coloureds are not that wealthy. So they actually need employment. They need to be employed to make money, just like majority black people need to be in the workforce. They need to be employed to make money. We need to be in the workforce. We need to be employed to make money. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, if you bring Employment Equity Act, you start segregating people based on skin color. It's like, how are you any different to the apartheid government? Just answer that basic question.
But we've got to stand together to bring change. We've got to have that certain amount of votes and all that for us to bring change. And all the people have to stand together. All the people in Newlands have to stand together, and maybe we can get a change from the DA.
6 political parties will be contesting the ward, including the ANC, EFF and the Patriotic Alliance. Jade Paulser, SABC News, Durban.
Yeah, but it's like, beside the campaigning, employment equity is just horrible. It's just horrible, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what anybody says. If you are any person with any sense who actually has love for South Africans, the citizens, forget the government, forget these people who are doing all of these crazy things to the people of South Africa. If you have actual love for the people of South Africans, you'll actually see that these people do not care. They don't give a piss about a regular South African. Look, I'm black and I'm not politically connected. If things were according to merit in South Africa, majority of us who are young and black could be talking a different story. But it's like, these guys are making things so difficult. Even when you are employed and you make money, they still find a way to screw you over. They've let inflation skyrocket. It's impossible to get a house. It's impossible to get a car. You have to finance a second hand. It's like, bro, it's crazy. It's tough what these people are doing to us. And it's like, for me, I don't have a kid. I don't have a family. But it's like, the people who have kids and who have families, bro, and who are supporting them on small salaries, those people are tough. Those are the real fighters in this country. Those are the people we should speak for. We shouldn't be scared to, speak about these politicians. Why are we scared to speak about politicians? We have South Africans, real South Africans behind us. So, crazy employment equity is just crazy, bro. These people are playing with people's lives. So if you like this one, please hit the sub, hit the like button, open those notifications so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here.